Day number 6 of the 12 days of MLB rankings. We are right at the halfway point and we're getting started with the outfield position now. Talking about the best left fielders from every team in Major League Baseball and a few free agents because there's a lot of free agent left fielders. Left field, kind of the forgotten about position in baseball. You kind of throw some guys over there. Center and right field seem to be the focuses right now, but that being said, there is still a ton of talent in left field. And this list has got some hitters, that is for sure. So as always with my rankings, I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Of course, I'm always replying and interacting with you guys, I promise. I'm not gonna get upset if you don't agree with me, but you gotta prove it. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. It really does help support the channel and my videos, as well as subscribe if you have not yet done so. Over 50% of you who watch aren't subscribed. What are you doing? Click that sub button, join the team, and don't forget to follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in description. And of course, keep an eye out for my Twitter spaces that will happen after this video drops. So without further ado, let's start ranking some left fielders. We got 33 of them. This is a big list. Getting the left field list started today at number 33, Adam Hazley of the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah, Phillies just don't really have outfielders, so Hazley slots into left, and let's be honest, it's just not much of a hitter out there. I mean, for his career, 116 games, 264 average, not bad, 322 on base, okay, 373 slugging, 695 OPS, not particularly strong. Maybe it's a little harsh because he has had a good glove, but in left field, little to no bat, not a lot of consistent playing time. I can't put Hazley much higher right now. That being said, he was the number 8 overall pick back in 2017, so like he could pop off. Coming in at number 32 for the Pittsburgh Pirates left fielder, Anthony Alford. Anthony Alford kind of looked decent last year. I mean, the numbers don't jump off the page by any means, but he was close to about league average. It's just, it was in such a small sample size, it's really hard to tell what Alford's gonna be able to do. Alford's a good athlete, but I need to see a little bit more out of him before I can put him higher on the list. At number 31, Washington Nationals left fielder Yadiel Hernandez. Nationals outfield not that strong, and granted, Yadiel Hernandez looked all right last year in 112 games, 98 WRC+, 273 average, 329 on base, 413 slugging, but he's pretty awful in the outfield. Not much of a left fielder right now. Going into his 34-year-old season, he does some things okay, but he's definitely not one of the stronger guys out there, and as he's getting older, I just can't imagine it's gonna get much better. For the 30th best left fielder in Major League Baseball, Cleveland Guardians, Oscar Mercado. Left field is like completely up in the air for him. I put Oscar Mercado out there. Mercado is super hard to figure out. He had that really strong rookie season in 2019, but even then he was still below average offensively, and with the glove, he's a little all over the place, a little inconsistent. Played 72 games in 2021, 6 homers, 19 RBIs, hitting 224 with a 300 on base, 369 slugging, WRC plus of 85. Those numbers just don't bolster a higher ranking, honestly, right now. Next up at the number 29 spot, Boston Red Sox left fielder Jarren Duran. While I have super high hopes for Jarren Duran, he did not perform well in his first season in Major League Baseball, where he had 2 homers, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 10 RBIs, hitting 215 with a 241 on base, 336 slugging, 578 OPS, a K rate at 35%, not looking strong, a WRC plus at 49. Great athlete, will be great in left field, and I do think next year he's going to improve mightily. He's just too talented not to, but he did look overmatched last year, and that's probably gonna hurt his 2022 season overall. But in the future, he's gonna be sick. I stand by that. Coming in at number 28, Oakland A's left fielder Chad Pinder. Chad Pinder is just like kind of the most boring player ever. I don't know. He does things all right. I mean, played 75 games last year, 6 homers, 16 doubles, a triple, and 27 RBIs, hitting 243 with a 300 on base, 411 slugging, 712 OPS, WRC plus last year of 97. He's projected to be a little bit above league average next year, but without the great glove and just kind of average at the plate. In left field, that's tough. But Chad Pinder, I mean, he's cool. It's all right. At the number 27 spot, I'm going with San Diego Padres left fielder Jurickson Profar. Admittedly, not the biggest guy on Jurickson Profar, but I do understand that he walks at a pretty high rate, 11.9 walk percentage last year with a 15.8 K rate, 4 homers, 33 RBIs, stole 10 bases, hitting 227 for 329 on base, 320 slugging, 293 WOBA, 85 WRC plus. The one thing that gives me hope is that he does walk at a pretty high rate, so if he can figure out the barrels, which he's done in the past before, he can improve, but he didn't look too good in 2021, so gotta knock him down a little bit. Jake Fraley of the Seattle Mariners is gonna come in at the number 26 spot for me today in my rankings. Really interesting season last year. 78 games, 9 homers, 7 doubles, 36 RBIs, with 10 stolen bases, hitting 210 with a 352 on base, 369 slugging, 721 OPS, which gave him a WRC plus at 109. That's, you know, pretty decently above league average. Defensively, a little shaky out there, but here's the thing that's so interesting about Jake Fraley is that last year between AAA and the Major League level, he had a 17% walk rate. If he can keep that up, I mean, that is elite level stuff. Jake Fraley has value. He can be very good offensively. It's a super interesting player here at number 26. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, Nick Solak of the Texas Rangers. He can do a little bit of everything, and it looks like he's going to slot in at left field as of right now for the Texas Rangers. While he did have a strong first half last year, he did peter off quite a bit in the second half. Finished the season with 11 homers, 18 doubles, 2 triples, and 49 RBIs, hitting 242 with a 314 on base, 362 slugging, 677 OPS. That was good for a WRC plus of 89. His stuff's a little bit all over the place. He can play all positions. That's kind of his true value right now. I think that that he can get better, and his projections show that, but right now I think 25 is a pretty fair estimate for him. For the 24th best left fielder in Major League Baseball, let's head out to Colorado to talk about Connor Joe. Shout out to Connor Joe. Dude beat testicular cancer in 2020, and he had a career season in 2021, the best he's had at the Major League level thus far. In 63 games, he had 8 homers, 9 doubles, 35 RBIs, hitting 285 with a 379 on base, 469 slugging, 848 OPS. Now, of course, all these numbers are in Coors, so everything with a grain of salt, and it was a small sample, but 12.3 walk rate and an under 20% K rate with a WRC plus at 116, xWOBA 371. Those are all really solid numbers. Connor Joe's a guy I'm going to keep a closer eye on in 2022, because he did a lot of good things in 2021. For the 23rd best left fielder in Major League Baseball, Miami Marlins, Jesus Sanchez. I love me some Jesus Sanchez. This guy hits the ball really hard, had some good numbers last year, and he ended up finishing the season pretty strong with Miami. 64 games, 14 homers, 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 36 RBIs, hitting 251 with a 319 on base, 489 slugging, 808 OPS. Good for a WRC plus last year of 116. While he doesn't really walk that much, and he does strike out a ton, 31% K rate, I think as he gets a little more comfortable at the Major League level, we'll see those numbers even out more. And he just hits the ball really well. I mean, he destroyed AAA pitching last year. The talent's there. I'm a big Jesus Sanchez fan. I got some stock in him as well. I think he's a riser next year. Kind of on the other side of the coin here, at number 22, I have a guy who's falling a little bit. That's David Peralta. David Peralta, for the first time in his career, has kind of started to look old. Didn't really have much pop in that bat last year. 150 games, 8 homers, 30 doubles, 8 triples, 63 RBIs. The Arizona Diamondbacks couldn't even move him at the deadline. 259 average, 325 on base, 402 slugging, 728 OPS. Gave him a WRC plus of 93. The defense, which has been strong in the past, looked a little more human last year. He's going to be 34, 35 years old. It's understandable that Peralta is going to start to fall off. Maybe I'm a little harsh here at 22, but I just don't know how much better he's really going to get than what we saw last season. And then just missing out on the top 20, coming in at number 21, Minnesota Twins left fielder Alex Kirilloff. Again, I didn't know who to do with him and Trevor Larnach, but shout out to Brandon Warren on Twitter. Told me Kirilloff's the guy. I'm going to trust him. Big Twins fan. So for Kirilloff, what he did last year, that was impressive. Barrels per plate appearance. He was one of the better guys in Major League Baseball at doing that. So that's why I bumped him up a little bit higher despite the traditional numbers not looking great. Last year in 59 games, 8 homers, 11 doubles, and a triple with 34 RBIs, hitting 251 with a 299 on base, 423 slugging, 722 OPS. Good for WRC plus below 193, but he does hit the ball hard. He hits it well. I think Alex Kirilloff's going to pop off next year. A little breakout season. Be a big part of that Twins offense in 2022. Getting the top 20 started at the number 20 spot, I got Eddie Rosario of, well, he's a free agent, but former Twin World Series champion. He looked great in the postseason, and he looked great with Atlanta when he moved there in 2021. As a whole, in 2021, 14 homers, 19 doubles, 3 triples, and 62 RBIs with 11 stolen bases, hitting 259 with a 305 on base, 435 slugging, 740 OPS. I gave him a WRC plus of 98. In the past, you're looking at a guy from like 105 to 110 WRC plus. I expect him to get closer to that range, especially if he's on a stronger team. Just doesn't really walk, even though we saw a slight bump last year. Eddie Rosario, a real solid left field. We saw the impact he made with the Braves. He can do that with another team. Coming in at the number 19 spot, another free agent, Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham, a few years ago, was one of the best left fielders in the game, but the last few seasons, we've seen him start to slow down a little bit, and it makes sense. He's getting older. But Tommy Pham still walks at an elite rate. A 13.9 walk rate last year is pretty disgusting, and he did have an xWOBA of 354, so he maybe got a little bit unlucky. Overall, a bit of a shaky season, ups and downs. 15 homers, 24 doubles, 2 triples, 49 RBIs with 14 stolen bases, hitting 229 with a 340 on base, 383 slugging, 724 OPS. I'd like to see Tommy Pham get a little more consistent, especially going forward, and get back to those old days like he was with the Rays and the Cardinals where he was pretty filthy, but again, he's 34 years old. Maybe this is just the Tommy Pham we get used to now. Elite walk rate, the offensive production in terms of barrels and bats, though, goes down a little bit. Same thing with the defense. Still, I think 19's fair. At the number 18 spot, Los Angeles Angels Brandon Marsh. While Trout might actually play a little bit more left field than this guy, just doesn't feel right to rank Trout in left field right now until we see him actually do it. And then you got Marsh slotted in there. So let's talk about Brandon Marsh. In his rookie season, 70 games, 2 homers, 12 doubles, 3 triples, 19 RBIs, stealing 6 bases, 254 average, 317 on base, 356 slugging, 673 OPS. He definitely looked a little overpowered last year. That being said, Brandon Marsh is a good player. He's looked great in the minors, has shown the ability to walk at crazy high rates. I mean, 15% walk rate. We've seen walk rates in the 12-13% range for him. Probably rushed up a little bit last year due to some injuries, and this could definitely be Justin Upton, but I think Brandon Marsh should get more time out there, deserves it, got a higher ceiling. Brandon Marsh, number 18. Still was like a 1 WAR player despite struggling last year in 70 games. Next up at number 17, Gold Glove Award winner for the Kansas City Royals, Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi actually looked pretty solid last year, albeit, but that being said, it still puts him right around the middle of the pack in terms of left fielders. While his defense was really strong, his offense was about league average. WRC plus of 106, 2.1 WAR last year, in 134 games, 17 homers, 27 doubles, 2 triples, and 73 RBIs, stealing 8 bases, but he got caught 9 times, hitting 276 with a 324 on base, 442 slugging, 766 OPS. Again, kind of your prototypical typical number 2 hitter like we saw in years past with Boston. While the walk rate was a little bit lower than usual, the K rate was also still low. Benintendi does a lot of things well. He's a very solid left fielder. Coming in at number 16, halfway point here, I got Lourdes Gurriel of the Toronto Blue Jays. Gurriel, a bit streaky, but there is one thing that this guy can do, and it's mash. In the field, his defensive numbers have dropped off again. Still throwing out guys, but with the glove, outs above average doesn't really love him. For Gurriel last year, 21 homers, 28 doubles, 2 triples, and 84 RBIs, hitting 276 with a 319 on base, 466 slugging, 785 OPS. His game plays very similar to his brother, Yuli. They're both batting average kings. They both hit the ball hard, granted a little bit more on the ground than you'd like, but still for Gurriel's career, you know, since 2018, 115 WRC plus, last year was 107, and in the years past, we saw 124 and 134. I think Gurriel offensively can be a super strong player. With the glove, that's still yet to be seen. It's a little inconsistent, but I think he's right around the middle here. Number 16's fair. At the number 15 spot, San Francisco Giants left fielder-ish, Lamont Wade Jr. Now, it's tough to rank a guy like him because, of course, they're going to platoon. This could be Darren Ruff, but again, one and the same, I think, right now for their position in terms of their team. In left field, Lamont Wade raked, though, last year. He crushes right-handed pitching, 18 homers, 17 doubles, 3 triples, 56 RBIs, hitting 253 with a 326 on base, 482 slugging, 808 OPS. He was fantastic at the plate. Gave him a WRC plus last year of 117. He's going to mash. He's going to face right-handed hitters, and he's going to put up a good offensive season. I think that's really right about average for left fielders right now in Major League Baseball. Strong player. At number 14, weirdly enough, another former Twins prospect, Akil Baddoo of the Detroit Tigers. Akil Baddoo, what a year, man. Rule 5 pick, and he stayed on the roster for the entire season, had a really nice year. At age 22, 124 games, 13 homers, 20 doubles, 7 triples, 55 RBIs, stealing 18 bags, hitting 259 with a 330 on base, 436 slugging, 766 OPS. Gave him a WRC plus of 108. Pretty good walk rate there, right around 10%. Strikeouts, you'd like to see them get down a little bit, but as the season went on, while I did go through some rough patches, he ended up playing really well for a full year. And with the glove, DRS-wise, he's basically average. I like the potential of Akil Baddoo, which is why I have him ahead of some of the other guys, and doing that at the age of 22, super exciting stuff. Austin Hayes of the Baltimore Orioles comes in as my number 13 ranked left fielder in Major League Baseball. Austin Hayes had a really nice year in 2021, where he hit 22 homers, 26 doubles, 4 triples, 71 RBIs, 256 average, 308 on base, 461 slugging, 769 OPS. Guy puts the ball in play well. He plays pretty good defense out there, especially if you move him to a corner. Had a WRC plus of 106 last season. We've seen him, you know, hit at times before in his career. Austin Hayes is looking like a nice little piece for the Orioles to go along with Cedric Mullins in that outfield. I like the way he's looking going into 2022. And then at number 12, a guy who's like eerily similar in terms of production and value and rates, Ian Happ. In comparison to Austin Hayes, he walks more and strikes out more, but they are almost identical in all the stats you look at. Last year, Happ, 148 games, a little bit of ups and downs, 25 homers, 20 doubles, 66 RBIs with 9 stolen bases, hitting 226 with a 323 on base, 434 slugging, 757 OPS. Again, you move him out of center, defensively he's going to improve. Switch hitter, although probably should stop doing that. He's been good offensively in the past before, albeit for small sample sizes. Maybe you stretch it out over an entire year. He's a little bit above league average hitter, but I love seeing those walk rates around that 12% range. I think Ian Happ is just ever so slightly better than Austin Hayes. And then missing out on the top 10 spot, coming in at number 11, it's Eloy Jimenez. Now, I think Eloy is a part of this next group of guys that you're going to see in the top 10 rather than Ian Happ and Austin Hayes behind him. I think there's a clear separation here, and I want to make that very clear because Eloy is a beast, especially with the bat. Last year, injured, so it was a little bit weird season, 101 WRC plus, but for his career, we've seen him play, you know, 200 games now, 270 average, 316 on base, 506 slugging, a WOBA at 344, WRC plus at 117. The dude can absolutely mash. Now, in the field, he's got awful. Not a good glove out there, but in left field, you're looking for that offense, and Eloy definitely gives you that. I think you got to put Eloy right outside the top 10, though, because he just hasn't done it as long as some of these other guys that I'm about to list, who are kind of more complete players or super elite on the offensive side. Because getting the top 10 started at number 10, probably one of the most underrated left fielders in baseball, Mark Canha. Now, by no means do I think he's in this elite category, but he does some things really well that is going to be super useful for the Mets in 2022. In terms of WRC plus since 2019, he's among the top for left fielders in baseball. He walks around 13 to 15% of the time, strikes out around 20%, WRC plus for the last 3 years at 129, and even the last 2, you're looking at WRC plus of 118, and he plays great defense. Canha is a super sneaky, underrated player. He's just like really boring. I get why people sleep on him. But even so, last year, a decent year from him. 17 homers, 22 doubles, 4 triples, and 61 RBIs, even stole 12 bases, hitting 231 with a 358 on base, 387 slugging, 746 OPS, WRC plus of 115. Big Mark Canha guy. Let's go Mets. Top 10 left fielder. At number 9, I've got free agent, former Boston Red Sox and National and Cub, Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber had quite the season last year in 2021. We really saw that offense break out to become what we expected to see from Schwarber all those years in the past. In just 113 games, Schwarber hit 32 homers with 19 doubles, 71 RBIs, 266 average, 374 on base, 554 slugging, 928 OPS. He had WRC plus last year of 145, a WOBA of 392, walking 13.6% of the time. He was unbelievable with the bat. Now, of course, defensively, he's always a bit shaky, but even then, he is improving. Probably more of a first baseman maybe nowadays, but right now in left field, Kyle Schwarber's a top 10 guy because of that offensive production. Coming in at the number 8 spot, it feels so wrong, but I gotta put Christian Yelich. Like, in my head, he is probably still a top 3 left fielder, but the last 2 seasons, he has not shown that, and I can't really reward him for 18 and 19 when he's been just kind of not that great the last few years. It still feels weird to say, but I'll put him at 8 because I think he's gonna bounce back. I'm still holding out for it. Still hits the ball hard, still walks well, still doesn't really strike out. He's good. Now, the counting numbers don't look great for the last 2 seasons. Basically played a full MLB year from 2020 to 2021, 21 homers, 26 doubles, 3 triples, and 73 RBIs, stealing 13 bases, 234 average, which is down almost 100 points from his MVP season, 360 on base, 392 slugging, 752 OPS. That gives him a WRC plus the last 2 years of 105, which is still above average, but it's not those MVP type levels we saw where it was 174 to 167 in 18 and 19. Still walking about 15% of the time though. There's things here that make Christian Yelich, or at least give me faith, but we have to see him step up next year. Otherwise, I can't continue to put him as one of these elite left fielders. Number 8 though, maybe I'm a little harsh on him. I don't know where to put him. I think he's top 3, but the numbers tell me otherwise. Fun fact with Yelich, when you look at stats from 2020 to 2021, he's right around this range. If you include 2019, automatically goes to the top. It's not even close. Crazy stuff. At number 7, I'm gonna go with Marcell Ozuna. Off the field, don't like what he does. On the field, he's a pretty great hitter, and we saw that a little bit in 2020. Saw that a lot of bit in 2019 with the Cardinals, where he started to break out a little bit, and we've even seen it in years past. 2021, not fair. Only played 48 games. But even for Ozuna, one of the top offensive outfielders in the game. Defensively, you know, depends what his arm's feeling that day, but he's been okay at times in the past, and it looks like he's gonna play a full 2022 season, and his projections are pretty strong. A WRC plus of 113, WOBA of 344, 27 homers. I think in Atlanta, you can slot him in for about 30 homers and close to 30 doubles a season if he's healthy, as well as if he's not gonna get suspended. Just missing out on the top 5, coming in at number 6, Michael Brantley. Love me some Michael Brantley. The guy is just super undervalued, I feel like. While he doesn't hit for power, and typically I do tend to care for the guys who hit for power, just does everything else at a really high rate. Like his bat to ball skills, his contact, some of the best in the league, and he's not just making soft contact, he hits the ball hard. 8 homers, 29 doubles, 3 triples last year in 121 games, hitting 311 with a 362 on base, 437 slugging, 799 OPS, good for a WRC plus of 123. I mean, since 2018, he has a WRC plus of 128. It hasn't dropped below 125. When he's healthy, he's one of the better hitters in the left field position in Major League Baseball. Defensively, he doesn't move well anymore, but with the bat, he's great. 10% K rate, right around 8-9% walk rate. Michael Brantley is a fantastic hitter, but just misses out on the top 5. Getting the top 5 started at the number 5 spot, AJ Pollock of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, he's a little bit weird because he does platoon a bit, but I think he will get more time, and even in the time that he's had, he's been great. He has a solid glove, and he just mashes now late. WRC plus last year of 137 after a 131 in the shortened season in 2020. Combine the 2 seasons together, it's basically a full year as well. You're looking at a guy who hit 37 homers, 36 doubles, and a triple with 103 RBIs, stealing 11 bases in 172 games, 290 average, 342 on base, 547 slugging, 888 OPS, WRC plus of 135. AJ Pollock is looking pretty sick out in LA. He's a top 5 left fielder in my eyes. For the 4th best left fielder in Major League Baseball, Tampa Bay Rays, some named Randy. Randy Arozarena, that dude's a beast. Won Rookie of the Year, very well deserving of it in the American League. After a crazy 2022 season where most of his best numbers came in the playoffs because he only played 23 games in the regular season, but he just continues to wow me. 9% walk rate last year. He still does strike out, but he was mashing baseballs again. 20 homers, 20 stolen bases, 69 RBIs, nice. 274 average, 356 on base, 459 slugging, WOBA at 350, WRC plus 128. Randy Arozarena is a top 5 left fielder in my eyes. 3rd best left fielder in Major League Baseball, Cincinnati Reds, Jesse Winker. Now, while Winker can't play defense, he's awful out there, has no hands. At the plate, he's again elite. In a season that was cut short last year, only 110 games, 24 homers, 32 doubles, 71 RBIs, hitting 305 with a 394 on base, 556 slugging, 949 OPS. He had a walk rate of almost 11%, K rate of 15.5, a WRC plus at 148, 403 WOBA. Even his ex-WOBA was crazy high at 389. Jesse Winker at the plate alone is one of the more patient, selective, valuable hitters in the league. And in left field, I got him at number 3. Just missing out on the top spot, 2nd best left fielder in Major League Baseball, Joey Gallo of the New York Yankees. Now, I'm sure Yankee fans, you probably might be the only people who have a problem with this ranking, but Joey Gallo's really good. It doesn't matter that he hits 199. He's got the Grandal special because the dude gets on base, he hits home runs, and he plays great defense. Last year in 153 games, Joey Gallo hit 38 homers, 13 doubles, 1 triple, 77 RBIs, even stole 6 bases, walked in American League best 111 times, also struck out in American League worst 213, 199 average, 351 on base, 458 slugging, 808 OPS, gave him a WRC plus of 123, K rates through the roof, but he walked 18% of the time last year. That was after struggling with the Yankees. He's got crazy pop, hits the ball so hard, and he's incredible defensively. He should be the Yankee center fielder, but they put him in left. Joey Gallo, elite. Disgusting. Second best left fielder. Because coming at the number 1 spot, another new guy here at number 1, Tyler ONeill of the St. Louis Cardinals. You want to talk about 5 tools? Tyler ONeill's got him. Good contact, good power, good speed, good glove, good arm, marks them all off. Now, the one knock on him would be his walk rate, but even then, still not that bad. Similar to Gallo though, crazy high strikeout, 31% K rate, but you just hear these numbers, guys, and you go, oh yeah, I don't care. 34 homers, 26 doubles, 80 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases last year, 286 average, 352 on base, 560 slugging, 912 OPS, gave him a WRC plus of 145, plus his elite defense, great base runner. Tyler ONeill's the complete package. He finished 8th in the MVP voting last year. Expect to see very similar finishes for ONeill moving forward. He's a 5.5 win player from left field. Guy's an absolute beast. So those are my rankings for the best left fielder from every team, as well as free agents in Major League Baseball for the 2022 season. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Let me know. Drop a like on the video. It really does help support the channel, as well as subscribe if you have not yet done so. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. That's where we're wrapping it up here, guys. You know the drill from here on out. Halfway through these rankings, we got center field coming tomorrow. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my left field rankings from last year, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.